to Mario Kart.
Here we go! Hey everyone, this is Mario Kart Gamer Dude, and today I'm interviewing a very special voice actor. Care to introduce yourself, man?
Hello everyone, my name is Sean Chiplock. Many of you may know me online as Sonic Mega, and true to form, I have been a professional voice actor working out of California for a little under 10 years now. Yeah.
Bet you didn't see that coming, huh guys? Thanks so much for coming on to be interviewed by me, Sean. It's a huge honor.
No problem. I always get a kick out of when people want to spend time with me, because it's like, I hope I can be interesting. I hope I can answer these questions in a fun way, but I appreciate that you made the time for me, so thank you.
No problem. So let's start off with the most obvious question. How did you get started into voice acting?
Well, the story that everyone knows at this point is I was very, very bored one evening. I want to say this was my junior year of high school, pretty close to the Christmas season, because I would stay up late all the time. Either I'd be doing Maple Story until like early in the morning, I mean like early, like 1 in the morning, and then usually I would do Neopets when they did their dailies at reset, the server reset at around 3 o'clock in the morning. So during one of those evenings, I happened to just by chance be interested in checking out the Adult Swim website, because Toonami was really big back then. It was always airing every evening, or at least 5 days a week. And while I was on their website, I ended up getting to see a preview clip of an upcoming clip from Trinity Blood, which I still need to see that anime, to be perfectly honest. But the clip had a little behind-the-scenes video where it showed Troy Baker in the studio recording as his character, and it was like a dual screen thing where it showed like a top-down angled camera where he's standing in the booth. You know, it showed his character on screen as he was recording, and it was the first time that I had seen a voice actor talking at the same time that the character's lips were moving. And that just caught my attention. Like, I still didn't fully understand what it was yet, or what I was witnessing. I just knew that this person, a human being like me, was talking, and in doing so was becoming the anime character that I saw on screen. And that's all I needed to know to become instantly interested. And I knew that that's something that I wanted to pursue and just try to do professionally.
Wow, that kind of sounds like how I wanted to do voice acting. Like, I always do comment dubs for fan work, and I always see voice actors doing this, and it sounds awesome, and I thought to myself, maybe I should do that. And my parents say, you should do that. Your voice is so loud and booming. You could be on Disney. And I'm like, nah, not gonna happen. So then I get people and family saying, are you in Disney yet? Are you in the game yet? And I'm like, no, wait, be patient.
You gotta work on it. You gotta work on it.
Exactly. I tell them, I'll tell you when I'm able to. What was the first role you ever got on? How was the audition process like? Were you nervous?
Well, when you say what was the first role I ever got, do you mean what was the first, like, named role that I got? The first role I got in any capacity? Like, what is...
I would say in any capacity, because any voice actor, they wouldn't start out on something big. They will start at something small.
The first published role that I can find was back in 2007. If you go to sonicmega.newgrounds.com, the very first one, or one of the first ones, was stuff like Stop Motion Racers, Tom Fulp Ace Attorney, How to Win a Daily. Like, 2007 was when I started. Like, that is literally when I began. It was near January 1st of that year.
Whoa.
So yeah, I've been doing it almost 15 years at this point. Holy crap. Maybe not professionally, but yeah, at that point it was just, I remember when I first got into voice acting, I was so hyped about having something that I was interested in, that I just wanted to be involved with it in any way possible, and I was really active on the Newgrounds forums at the time. So I would go onto the Newgrounds forums and basically scour the forum threads for anyone saying, hey, I'm looking for voice actors for a project that I'm doing, or I'm looking for, you know, people who can play this character. And that was how I got my start, was between that, and there was a forum that I used back then that I help moderate now called Voice Acting Club. And I would look for postings on there, and just any chance I could, I was recording samples, I was recording auditions. I just wanted to be things in productions.
Now here's the next question. If you go through a long, dry spell, like no auditions, or you audition over and over, you get nothing, what's your advice?
So I can think of two distinct instances where that happened to me, just to show that I've had experience with that kind of situation. There was a case several years ago. It was back when I was right before I ended up getting a job at Disneyland California Adventure for a couple months, and that's why I decided to audition, was because there wasn't much going on. But the big one that I think of was, I believe it was either 2017 or 2018. I think it was 2018. Or maybe it was 2018. From February of from January of 2018 to like mid-April, I did not book a single new job. I had some repeat work, I had some follow-up work from stuff that I booked the previous year, but despite auditioning as much as I do, I did not book a single new job between those 3.5 months, and it was driving me crazy. Like, I was going through all of the mental emotions. I was like, do I even know, like, what I'm doing? Have I started getting too big for my britches again, like I did at one point early on in my career? You know, am I assuming that what I'm doing is good and it's not? Have I lost touch? You know, I was going through all of them, and I want to say it was the closest I ever came to having, like, an actual depressive episode. But eventually the booking came in. I took more workshops. I was able to start to see work pick back up again, and things returned to normal, quote unquote. So based on that, to answer the question, the advice that I would give folks is, well, first of all, you know, ask yourself, you know, am I confident in what I'm doing? If you have a dry spell, you know, do you feel good about the auditions you're sending out, regardless of whether or not you're booking them? Do you like what you're sending out? And if you don't, why don't you like it? And then find out what you can do to alleviate that. So if you're not booking, you know, a lot of roles and you're like, well, I really want to play more protagonist type roles, but I haven't been booking them anymore. Well, consider taking workshops that will help you practice that kind of personality. Go listen to performances from other people who play the types of roles that you want to play. The only time that time is wasted is if you don't spend it doing the things that you want to be doing, whether that is educating yourself or calming yourself or treating yourself. If you're sitting there saying, I should do blank, and then you put it off or you don't actually do it, that's when you're wasting your own time, and you have no one to blame for that but yourself. But just because you don't happen to be booking work doesn't mean you're not capable of booking work. It may just mean that there's a string of projects where you don't happen to be a good fit, or maybe you haven't been noticed yet, or maybe you haven't gotten in touch with that one client or that one studio that ends up really liking what you have to offer. But it's probably one of the most important moments for you as an actor, is the moments when you're not actually getting any work, because that's when you get to ask yourself, how important is this to me? Do I only care about it when I'm booking gigs? Do I still care about it even when it's giving me nothing in return? And if your answer to that is no, it's too stressful, I don't enjoy it, you know, I don't like this unless I'm actually booking work, then maybe it might be a moment of realization for you that it might be worth looking at other things, or maybe just kind of treat this as a side hobby rather than something you want to do as a full-time career. This is a career that will give you maybe 10% back of what you put into it, and you need to be someone who is thrilled by that 10% if you are going to stay sane, keeping this as a career.
Wow, that is amazing, Sean. I went through a similar thing. I was never booking anything for over, let's say, a long time, and I was very close to quitting in May. Very close. But then I got an audiobook role, and I'm like, what? Me? And it dawned on me that if I quit, I wouldn't have gotten that.
Right?
Great advice.
Yeah, I mean, passion's a big part of it too. Like, you brought up a really good point. Any of those times where I felt completely, like, stressed out and, like, do I even know what I'm doing? You know, there's the question of, do I want to bother continuing to try? Do I just want to quit? But even if I'm not booking work at that moment, I think to my, like, for example, a perfect example that I give people is, I moved out to California in 2012. Breath of the Wild came out 5 years later in 2017. Back when I first moved out, when I had just started any semblance of a professional career, and I'm talking about doing, like, Walla and, like, background characters for anime series, there was no way in hell that my pea-brain would have considered that I might have ended up voicing, you know, a couple major characters in the first canon voice Zelda game. 5 year difference. 5 years. And so anytime that I'm having a tough time, I just ask myself, if you give up, if you choose to stop here, what could happen in 5 years from now that you won't get to be a part of because you chose to stop trying? What could happen in 10 years? What could happen in 3 years? So even if the present day is stressful, I think I look forward to the future. I go, what could be waiting for me in the months and years to come that's only gonna be there and can only be a possibility if I keep at this?
Okay, here come the fun questions. You've just entered the world of Mario. What's the first thing you do? But you can't say hang out with Mario and Luigi.
Okay. Try to find 100 coins so that if I manage to die, I at least know I'll have 1 extra life.
What?
That's the very first thing that I do.
Okay, wow. Okay, I've had answers like, why would I be there? Or, I'd leave, or, I get a cake at Peach's Castle, or, just ride Yoshi's saddle.
No, I can figure out anything else after I ensure that I'm not gonna die to randomly touching a turtle or something like that.
Yeah, wow. Oh, man. Okay, so, here's the last question. Which Mario character do you see yourself in the most in terms of personality?
I would say Waluigi.
Really?
Cause he's loyal to his brother. He's very lanky, very tall like I am. He can get super aggressive about the things that he's focused on. But he doesn't take everything too seriously like some other characters do. You know, he can be conniving at times, but he's in it to have fun. Now, whether that's fun for himself or fun just in general, that's up in the air, and that depends on the game that he's in. But I don't know, he's a memorable character for various reasons, and I think I identify with that kind of energy.
So then you must be one of those Waluigi fans who say, Waluigi for Smash!
There you go.
Alright, I think that's basically it. Anything else you want to say before we head off, Sean?
Thank you guys so much for your support. I'm so glad that I can do this as a full-time career and entertain you guys at the same time. Honestly, that's just it. I appreciate that you like what I do, and I hope to keep doing this for many years to come.
Alright, so Sean, thanks so much for coming on. It was a huge honor to have you here, and good luck with all your roles. Your recent one being Beastars, correct?
Yes, that came out today that I was allowed to talk about.
Alright, thanks again, Sean. In the meantime, I've got some additions to work on.
Good luck, man. Let's both work hard.
Thank you, you take care.